Have you ever wondered how a human being is capable of orchestrating a mass genocide? Why did authoritarian dictators like Hitler ruthlessly murder millions of innocent people? Did they possess no mercy, no empathy, or no conscience at all? What happens to a human mind when it is granted absolute unchecked power? To find the answers to these chilling questions, a psychological study was conducted in 1971 that left the entire scientific community in absolute shock. If you understand this study, you will grasp the exact mindset of every tyrant, dictator, and mass murderer in human history. This is one of the most controversial, terrifying, and groundbreaking scientific studies ever recorded, the Stanford Prison Experiment. It was August 1971. Professor Philip Zimbardo from the psychology department at Stanford University embarked on an unprecedented research initiative. He had a profound question: is human cruelty an innate, inborn trait, or can circumstances, environment, and ultimate power turn even an ordinary good person into a sadistic monster? To test this hypothesis, Zimbardo constructed a highly realistic mock prison in the basement of the Stanford Psychology Building. A classified ad was placed in the local newspaper calling for volunteers for a psychological study of prison life, offering $15 a day. Out of the 70 college students who applied, Zimbardo and his team conducted rigorous physical and psychological evaluations. They meticulously selected 24 of the most normal, mentally healthy, and peaceful students with no criminal background whatsoever. Their fates were then decided by a simple coin toss. One half would play the role of prisoners, and the other half would be guards. The experiment was scheduled to run for 2 full weeks. To ensure the simulation felt incredibly real, Zimbardo left no stone unturned. The students assigned as prisoners were unexpectedly arrested from their homes by real local police officers. They were handcuffed, read their rights, fingerprinted, and subjected to a degrading strip search, just like actual criminals. They were then given uncomfortable prison smocks, but the most terrifying psychological tactic was the erasure of their identities. They were assigned ID numbers and told that from now on, they would only be addressed by those numbers. On the other hand, the guards were equipped with military-style khaki uniforms, wooden batons, whistles, and mirrored aviator sunglasses. These sunglasses were crucial. They prevented eye contact, ensuring the guards felt no empathy or human connection toward the prisoners. Zimbardo gave the guards only one strict rule: no physical violence. However, they were given full authority to use any psychological tactics necessary to maintain order. The first day passed relatively peacefully. The students still thought it was just a role-playing game, but by the morning of the second day, the situation took a horrific turn. The prisoners staged a rebellion, barricading their cell doors and refusing to follow orders. To crush this uprising, the true dark nature of the guards emerged. They attacked the prisoners with fire extinguishers, stripped them naked, took away their beds, and threw the ringleaders into a dark, claustrophobic solitary confinement closet. From that moment on, a nightmare of psychological abuse began. The very same young men who were polite and friendly just a day ago transformed into ruthless, sadistic authoritarians. They forced the prisoners to clean toilet bowls with their bare hands, made them do endless push-ups to the point of exhaustion, and subjected them to severe sleep deprivation. To break their solidarity, the guards played psychological mind games, giving special privileges to some while starving others. The mock prison rapidly began to mirror a miniature concentration camp. 36 hours into the experiment, prisoner 8612 suffered an extreme mental breakdown. He began crying uncontrollably, screaming in sheer panic. Initially, the researchers thought he was faking it to quit the study, but they soon realized the severe trauma was completely genuine. He had to be released immediately. Over the next few days, several other prisoners began losing their grip on reality. The most shocking part was that the prisoners completely forgot they were college students in a science experiment. They genuinely believed they were helpless criminals trapped in a real prison. The intoxicating blindness of power didn't just consume the guards. Professor Philip Zimbardo himself became lost in the fantasy. He completely abandoned his objective role as a research psychologist and morphed into the paranoid superintendent of the prison, entirely ignoring the severe psychological damage being inflicted on these innocent young men. Finally, on the 6th day, a fellow psychologist named Christina Maslach visited the basement. Seeing the horrific, inhumane conditions, the sadistic behavior of the guards, and the shattered mental state of the prisoners, she was absolutely appalled. She strongly confronted Zimbardo, making him realize the profound ethical violations occurring in the name of science. Forced to face reality, Zimbardo terminated the experiment immediately, after only 6 days. The Stanford Prison Experiment unveiled a dark, terrifying reality of human psychology that none of us want to accept. It proved that the evil inside human beings is not always something they are born with. When you place an ordinary, decent person into a system that grants them absolute power with absolutely no accountability, they are capable of committing the most extreme atrocities. In psychology, this is known as the Lucifer Effect. Despots like Hitler and other authoritarian tyrants were not aliens, they were human beings of this world. But blinded by radical ideologies, systemic authority, and unchecked power, they began to view themselves as untouchable gods, allowing them to authorize the slaughter of millions without a single tremor in their hands. When you give someone power without limits or consequences, even the best of men can turn into terrifying monsters. The Stanford Prison Experiment isn't just a piece of history, it is a chilling warning for our present and future world. Power doesn't necessarily change a person, it simply reveals their true nature. After hearing this incredible story, what do you think? Are humans inherently cruel, or do situations force them to become monsters? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.